After finding some excellent run of form during the first half of the season, in our last 4 games, we've picked up 2 points, and our second place position is now 4th place, 10 points behind Liverpool, and only 1 point behind Newcastle and 2 points behind Man City. Talks of title hopes have now ended, and right now, we must fight for our position to get Champions League football for next season, and one of the biggest criticisms that we faced in our last 4 games has been that lack of finishing prowess. So in today's video, my friends, I'm here to discuss 5 strikers we should turn towards. I'm going to go through a host of different targets ranging from realistic options to fantasy options, so I hope you guys enjoy today's video. Hit that like button, all that good stuff. And let's get straight into things. Ambitious goals call for ambitious signings. So let's start off by getting the ambitious move that we could make in this window out the way first. And that is none other than Didier Drogba regen and Victor Boniface. His season has slightly slowed down due to small little niggling injuries at the moment, but he still has 6 goals and 1 assist in 8 starts and 2 sub appearances. His absence has really profited Patrick Schick at Bayer Leverkusen, who's on an unreal scoring form right now and currently has 11 goals in 6 starts and 7 sub appearances. For me, I also feel like Schick is a great striker, all-rounded, superb left foot, great link-up play, great aerially. He'd be someone I'd take as competition for sure, and he's shined at Leverkusen for the last 5 years. But with Schick's incredible scoring form this season, could we possibly tempt Bayer Leverkusen in departing with their star striker in January if the money's right? Now on paper, Boniface is set to become one of Europe's leading strikers, in my opinion. He's the complete package, 6'3", complete forwards. He's able to muscle opponents, back into them, hold the ball, link the play, bring teammates into the game, combine in sequences of play. He has an aerial threat. You can play direct to him, over the top, and a lot more. But most importantly, he has the soul of a winger at heart, full of no-look passes, nutmegs, back flicks, step overs. There's a little bit of that Balotelli flair in his game, which makes him a very unpredictable player for someone that has classic 9 traits. I stress this, but if you had to find a Drogba regen in Europe right now, you're not looking at anyone better than Victor Boniface. Reportedly, Xabi Alonso saw enough of him in Leverkusen's games in Europe vs St. Truden to instantly talk to the directors at Leverkusen to get Boniface signed for the following season. And since then, he hasn't looked back, as Boniface helped Leverkusen to a historic, unbeatable Bundesliga win where he contributed with 24 goals in 39 appearances. Now for myself, I'm looking at targets that can complement our setup, but additionally provide something different and new. Can you also work with our existing players but also elevate their games? When I saw the link up and combination between Boniface and Florian Wirtz, one of the best partnerships in Europe last season, how can I not think about the potential for Boniface alongside Cole Palmer, Felix's, and other talents? Now he's not the fastest runner, but he's a strong runner, and most importantly, he shows his explosiveness and pace in short distances. Alongside that powerful frame, he is able to get in front of defenders with skills, power, and a variety of moves to get on goal. Paris Saint-Germain have been rumoured to have made contact with Leverkusen over the availability of Boniface. His current market valuation is set at around 45 million euros, and rumours suggest bids of around 67 million could be enough to make Leverkusen talk. Patrick Schick in incredible form right now. Is there a possibility to tempt Leverkusen into departing with Boniface in this window? Time will tell, but for me, this is the most ambitious move our money could get us. With the window open yet again, I feel like there's a possibility to target a long-term striker option in the market right now, and for that option, I've gone for Liam Delap. He is the brightest young prospect this season in the league, and he is a literal monster up front. And what I find really funny about Liam Delap is he's the striker that fouls centre-backs. Already, he's matched last season's goal tally at Hull City in the Championship in a much difficult league, and at 21 years old, there aren't many strikers up front his age as complete right now. Now, we are extremely excited by his development. We know Joe Shields is a massive fan of him, and Enzo Maresca has reportedly said yes to his signing. He once helped mold the striker to become the player he actually is during their time together at Man City's academy, and right now, Delap is looking like one specimen of a human being. He's top heavy, great upper body strength which he regularly uses to hold off defenders, bully defenders, spin defenders and unsettle defenses. And already at 21, he looks like he's in his physical prime and reminds me of like a 26-year-old Diego Costa. Being physically developed, upper body wise and pace wise means that there's tons of upside in his long-term development as he has more time to improve his technical prowess and qualities. But for someone with a stocky frame, he has a great sense of balance in his game. And you see this all the time when he goes on his customary long carries towards the opposition's goal. He's able to shift his body weight on a fly, he's able to spin defenders, he's able to go on sharp turns and change his body direction on a fly, and he uses this to great effect when he takes advantage of his understated dribbling ability and his ability to score and fashion shooting opportunities from any angle and any distance. Boy does this kid love to strike the ball, the conviction, the power, and the fact that most of his shots test the goalkeeper and they're on target. He's become McKenna's one-man battering ram up front for Ipswich Town this season. But don't just think this guy is pure pace and power, because he learned his football brain coming from the infamous Man City Academy, and you see his intelligence in his game with his ability to run the channels, which he does over great distances. Too great in my opinion, but they're definitely helping Ipswich Town this season. He's averaged the longest carries out of any player this season, and he's regularly unsettled teams in the channels, in transition, in behind. And when you combine all his attributes, it makes for a very interesting player. And this comparison is going to sound absolutely mad, but you could argue that he has the potential to be like a world-class version of Michael Antonio. Delap is a great talent, and his greatest quality is he's shown this season that he can win you points from absolutely nowhere. And if Ipswich Town never had him up front, they would not be this high up in the table as they are right now. And here's where lies the main issue with Liam Delap. When Man City agreed to sell him to Ipswich for 20 million, they agreed two clauses. One was a 20% sell-on clause, and the other was a buyback fee at a reasonable price. So if you hope to really damage Ipswich Town's hope this season by signing Delap from them, best believe you're paying an absolute premium to be able to sign him. Then the question then turns to, just how serious are we about Liam Delap? Money will have to talk in this scenario. Okay, so long-term options are always the best ones you want, but they come at a cost. Maybe the plan this season is to go for a short-term option that doesn't have any long-term stay, and maybe a loan move for Kolo Muani of Paris Saint-Germain could be the effective signing to make in this current window. As we know right now, we lack having additional support up front. Nicholas Jackson can't play 90 minutes week in, week out. He needs competition, and why not target a player who is a multi-purpose weapon down either flank as a wide forwards, who's great with his third-man combinations, who ranked extremely high in terms of touches inside the box during his great spell under Glasner at Frankfurt, and who was the fourth fastest player in the Bundesliga at the time, one of the fastest forward players in Europe. This season at Paris Saint-Germain, things aren't going to plan. And mainly that comes to the fact that Luis Enrique has changed the tactical plan for PSG up front, instead preferring a false nine with his goal threat coming from wide forwards down either flank. Paris Saint-Germain are very open to Muani leaving them. Ideally, they prefer to agree an obligation to buy in any loan deal, but as we've known from our sides, the selling club doesn't always have things going their way. And if anything, Paris Saint-Germain would just be happy to get him off the wage bill. Now, Kolo Muani might not necessarily be that upgrade to Nicholas Jackson, but maybe we don't need that. Maybe for the second half of the season, we continue to allow Nico to develop his game, but we just have competition for him. Competition that can help boost and elevate how he grows, and competition that allows us to have another player in a similar ilk that we can turn to have fresh legs and bring fresh possibilities against the opposition. Areas in which Kolo Muani absolutely thrives are definitely in transitional moments. A lot of times at Frankfurt, he did his best work in those wide channels, down either flank, and as Glasner himself once said, Muani isn't a wide player. Randall is an attacker who needs support. He can't be isolated, otherwise he can't combine with others and user speed, and combinations is something that Maresca heavily emphasizes in his setup this season. He's not an out-and-out 9, but he's a multi-purpose player, and with this ability to combine, you have to think about how that elevates and improves his teammates around him. And one of the main reasons as to why Cole Palmer consistently ranks as one of our highest scorers in every season is because he benefits from having a striker that occupies defenses, which allows him to ghost in the box, allows him to play at his world-class best. Being 6'2", having ridiculous pace, which he's absolutely mastered in his game, very strong carrying ability, he'll provide a useful handful and a weapon against tired teams, or a different threat with his pace and behinds. Would it be wise to turn towards Kolo Muani and then focus our efforts on signing a big striker in the summer window? Maybe you're looking for a player that provides you an actual plan B, that allows you to play direct, that can cause different problems for the opposition, whereas empowering your existing teammates to have an outlet to help them in difficult moments. And maybe Felipe Mateta of Crystal Palace could come at the perfect time. His contract expires next year in June, which means that he could sign at a very affordable fee, as his current market value is around 20 million euros. At 27 years old, Felipe Mateta is becoming a bit of a cult figure in the Premier League this season, and for very good reason. We know his incredible scoring exploits last season, playing alongside Eze, Olise, and Glasner, and he caused so many handfuls to some of the strongest defenders in the league, most notably destroying Man City in 2024. We saw how difficult he is to contain for a full 90 minutes, as he scored the equalising goal against us just last week. And maybe this is where Mateta could be a very useful option for this young squad that is still the youngest squad in the Premier League. I could see Mateta following in the footsteps of other experienced Premier League French-speaking strikers that we've signed over our recent years, and players like Nicolas Anelka from Bolton, and of course cult hero in Demba Ba, and players such as Loic Remy. All three of them came in a time where we needed immediate quality. They provided that over the course of a few seasons. They did their job and they left. And maybe we need to have a plan B that allows us to play more direct, that gives us a focal point, that can bring other players into the game, that can occupy the books. And in Mateta, he has shown and grown to be one of the most experienced, intelligent strikers in the league, because not only does he have the physicality to unsettle any defender in the Premier League, but he's a forward himself that prides his game on not needing many chances to score a goal. On top of that, he's a very popular figure in dressing rooms. He puts his arm around young players, he raises the standards, he encourages excellence. And could he be the perfect player to turn to off the bench when times are hard and when we need that outlet to help the team out? But moving on, this window does provide some very interesting options on the market, and maybe we turn towards a hidden gem that absolutely excelled under Arne Slot, currently the best manager in the Premier League, and that is none other than Santiago Jimenez. I see a little bit of Falcao in him. I see a little bit of Hernan Crespo in his game. Mexican international who's half Argentinian. Since signing for Feyenoord from Cruzal, he's proven to be one of the best under-24 strikers in Europe's top divisions. Even though he's been hit by injuries, this season he has 6 goals and 1 assist in the Eredivisie, 1 assist and 2 goals in the Champions League. He played an absolute key role in securing the Eredivisie title under Arne Slot for Feyenoord, and he excelled playing as a traditional number 9. Currently, Santiago Jimenez is developing to become an all-round, complete striker, whereas before, when he was younger, he was more of a poacher. But now, he's improved, he's evolved. He is someone that provides a great physical edge up front, where he can hold off defenders, do layoffs, play runners in, and compete for balls aerially, and attack balls and crosses inside the box too. But on top of that, he is a scorer of a variety of great goals. He can score with his head. He's left-footed, but he can also score with his right foot. He can time his tap-ins in front of defenders. He can take shots outside the box. He can score from curling efforts, from powered efforts, near post efforts and far post efforts. One of the things that marks the greatness behind his game is his intelligence. Now, he's not the fastest striker, but he thinks fast, and he knows how to time his bursts of speed to get away from defenders and away from markers. He can angle his runs, he can curve his runs, He can drop deep, he can go in behind, and he can hold off defenders to take shots off. On top of this, he's a relentless presser off the ball, and you can see why Arne Slot was absolutely enamored by him and why he completely excelled under the Dutch manager. Currently, his market value is placed at around 37 million euros, and reports suggest that Feyenoord would accept fees of around 40 million, which would mean that he would potentially be the highest amount of money Feyenoord have received for any player in their history. He turned down a big move to Nottingham Forest last summer. He revealed that he spoke to Arne Slot to get his advice. Slot advised him against it, and rumors suggest that Liverpool may be planning a reunion with Slot and Jimenez. At an affordable fee, great age, and more upside to his game, is there a potential here to make a pretty interesting move with Santiago Jimenez? So my friends, they're the 5 strikers to watch out for in this window. Share your thoughts and opinions on these names. Do you like them? Do you not? If you don't, let me know exactly the striker or strikers you would target. Who are your top 5? Comment below, my guys. So hope you all enjoy. Hit that like button. Keep those notification buttons on. And I'll see you all very soon. Cool.